Hey everybody, welcome back to another Gravity Ace Devlog. It's been a while, it's been a minute. So I took a few weeks off around Christmas time to recharge my batteries. It's been a little bit difficult to regain momentum coming off of Christmas break and New Year's and everything. I mean, it was a good relax, and I enjoyed it. Recent U.S. politics has been kind of challenging to my focus as well, but I'm getting back into it. I've done one stream this year. I'm going to do another one on Saturday the 16th. And I hope you join me, and yeah, that's going well. Bit of a progress report on the game, Gravity Ace. I'm still working on the Nakama leaderboards. I think they're just about ready to go. I need to do a little bit more testing, and then I'll probably roll out a build very, very soon. And that paves the way for doing shared levels as well, because I'm going to use Nakama's online storage for that too. If you were on the stream last week, you saw I started working on ice caves. I have a lot of ideas for the ice caves, but I'm still sort of in this exploratory phase where I'm trying to find an art style that I like. I'm trying to build an atmosphere here. Something cold, something icy, something, I want it to really feel like you're in an ice cave. There's going to be new enemies, new props. I'm thinking freeze rays, things that can melt, destructible ice walls, walls that reflect bullets like an icy mirror, falling stalactites made of ice. Lots of different ideas. We'll see how that goes. I also want to talk a little bit about my development plans for the next game. So I've always had this idea of putting out 2 games a year, but the challenge there is, of course, starting from scratch every 6 months is challenging. It's challenging. So the idea is I would have 2 games in production at the same time, and I'd overlap the development cycles. So that it would be sort of a rolling 2 games a year, not start one game, end one game, start one game, end one game. It'd be more like, when I'm maybe halfway through the first game, start pre-production on the second one, and then hopefully that would allow me to not only, combat burnout, which is a real problem in game development, especially if you're doing it on your own, but give me sort of a development pipeline where I can do hopefully 2 releases every year, which would be nice. So one thing I learned from Gravity Ace is that, I think Gravity Ace was just too big of a game. I'm going to finish it. I enjoy doing it. It's a big game though, and there's a lot of, it's bigger than I expected it to be. So hindsight's 2020, right? But it's bigger than I expected it to be. And I think the next game I need to just scope it down a little bit. So, especially if I want to meet this 2 releases a year idea, right? So for the next one, I'm thinking I want to go really more procedural, more roguelike, permadeath. I know roguelike's kind of an abused term, but I'm thinking permadeath, randomized level generation, randomized loot drops, things like that, right? So some randomness. I want to build the game off of systems that interact with each other rather than on hand-placed items and hand-placed levels and set pieces and things like that. I think I want the game to be mostly linear. That doesn't mean you won't be able to have side branches, but think of games like Spelunky or Nuclear Throne or Jupiter Hell, where you kind of start out in the same themed area every time. You face the same boss at the end of each theme, that sort of thing. And I'm thinking 30-minute sessions. So with, perfect good play, you might be able to win the whole game in 30 minutes, but then you still want to play it again because the next run's going to be different. You might think of some things you could do better. You're going to get different weapons or different items next time. Maybe the levels will be uniquely different in a way that makes it more challenging or easier. like I mentioned before, Spelunky 2, Nuclear Throne, Jupiter Hell, they all scratch that itch for me in just slightly different ways. And I'm thinking something in that vein. There's obviously a lot of interesting territory there, so I don't know. I haven't made any decisions about genre or anything, and I'm still in the prototyping phase where I'm trying to work through what's fun. And I've built one prototype already. It turned out to be interesting to do, but not really what I want to do. So I just have a list of prototypes I want to work through over the next few months. And I'll show them to you as I make them. The pros of doing it like this are, for me, no hand level design, very little story and writing, if any, hopefully a shorter dev cycle. And I think all of that focuses more on my strengths than my weaknesses, which, through the process of game development, I've become aware of some weaknesses that I have, which is fine. It's fine. But I just want to focus more on my strengths than my weaknesses, obviously. So that's it for this week. Again, I'm streaming again every Saturday. Please come and drop by on Twitch and hang out. I would love to see you there. If you've got any questions about anything, Godot development, whatever, that's probably the best place to ask them. And I'm going to keep on trucking. So thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time.